go. Take a aisle seat.
Welcome to Michelle and Andy's QA for our vlog this week. So Michelle posted yesterday on her Instagram, collected some questions, and we are going to just spend the whole time answering questions for the new year.
We have all the questions pulled up here, so we will go through them. We're going to start easy with some generic questions. Okay, so one is our day jobs.
What are our day jobs? I work as a product manager at a company called Pattern here in Utah that deals in e-commerce. So we have a lot of different platforms for different things related to e-commerce, like analytics, distribution and logistics, content management, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So I work across a couple different verticals there in product management. So working with engineering and all that kind of fun stuff. What is your job?
We've actually been trying to narrow down the title because I feel like it covers a lot of things.
Yeah, she doesn't have a title, really.
I don't really have an official title. I'm going with creative product manager.
Yes.
For Jenna Kutcher specifically, if you did not know. I help manage all her digital courses. So from beginning to end, the creation process, the launching process, the marketing process, the whole thing. It's very fun, and I cover a lot of things. So, creative product manager for Jenna Kutcher, yes.
Awesome. Next question. How did you get into content creation?
I actually worked in social media for like 6 years before I started my current job. So I've been making videos for other brands and other people for a very, very long time. And then it's just something I really like to do. So I started making videos myself. And then I started posting them. It actually all started with, I had an Etsy shop and I was trying to market that.
Graphics by Shell.
The
Graphics by Shell. Some of you who watch this may have been original Graphics by Shell followers.
Yes. And I sold like stickers, prints, all these things. And I was trying to come up with videos. And then it slowly just kind of became my own videos because the Etsy shop. I stopped doing Etsy, so then I just started creating videos of me working and things like that. So that's how we got here. I would say I started taking it seriously about a year ago. Would you say? Like last November, December.
It was after the Piper song Chair went viral.
Yeah.
That was the turning point.
So that's me. And then Andy.
I don't really do that much in content creation. I like to make videos.
But yeah, you like.
I'm an aspiring man of influence. But I just like to make videos. I liked photography. And that slowly moved into video. We originally did weddings a long time ago. We did weddings for maybe 6, it wasn't that much. It was a year, just to kind of get my feet wet with making videos. And weddings are let's be honest, are pretty easy to do, at least in Utah. Everyone kind of shoots the same stuff. So it was
small brand stuff here and there.
Yeah, we did a little bit of brand stuff, but that just kind of helped me transition to making content for my own stuff, which is what we do now. Okay.
Follow at Andy Grabs for all the
Andy
projects he's working on.
Yes, which we will get to later.
Yes, we will. Top 3 tech items you can't live without. I want to do a tech question.
We'll both do 3. I'll do 3, then you do 3.
Yeah. Okay, sorry. Let me say it again. Top 3 tech items you can't live without, excluding phones and computers.
Okay. Number 1 is probably Sonos speakers. They're definitely a luxury item, and even saying I can't live without them is pretty privileged, because I definitely can live without them. They impact my life pretty marginally, but for a convenience item, I think they are incredible. I would recommend Sonos speakers to anyone who can reasonably fit them in their budget. I think they're awesome. The connectivity between systems is so nice. It's very fluid, super easy to use. And it's nice because like when people come over and they want to like airplay or cast like music, then it's very easy to do that. You can do that on other stuff, but Sonos is nice because like I can play to all of the speakers in the house or in a given section of the house at once. It just requires some investment financially.
Yeah.
And then 2, I would say my Whoop band. I use this like every day, tracking like sleep and strain and stuff. So I really like that. And then I'd say number 3 is probably my camera. I don't even have it with me, but it's my my Ricoh GR3 Diary Edition. That is like an incredible camera that I bring almost everywhere. So that's my 3.
Those are good picks.
Those are my 3. My 3 picks.
I actually was thinking if I had anything near here, but I don't. I will say my Kindle. I use it a lot. I still read physical books, but I really like my Kindle, especially for traveling. The next one would be my Oura Ring, which is kind of similar purpose of the Whoop, but the main thing that I like using the Oura Ring for is tracking with natural cycles, so I feel like this is really good.
Staying on top of her feminine hygiene cycles.
Not feminine hygiene.
Feminine
I have
cycles.
great feminine hygiene.
Feminine cycles.
My feminine cycles. And then my third, the Hatch, because I've actually really enjoyed
But the calendar's way more useful than the Hatch. You think you could go without the calendar or the Hatch?
Here's the thing. The Skylight calendar I have really bought mostly for you.
Really?
Like, I check those calendars so much. The Skylight calendar makes me so happy because it makes Andy check the calendar. But if Andy wasn't here and I had a big 3 that I couldn't live without, I would say the Hatch.
Okay.
Because the Hatch has been really nice. I have so many different settings for nighttime. We have like 3 settings. And the white noise is good. And then in the morning we have birds
chirping. Oh, it's so nice.
And it doesn't sound like an alarm. It just
It's
makes
great.
me like wake up.
I think the Skylight calendar gets an honorable mention. It's a really good one.
That should be one of your honorable mentions.
Well, I mean, I can live without it.
No,
I just think it's really good. Okay, next question. 2025 goals.
You can go first, or I can go first since you asked that.
Yep.
I guess. Okay. I'm pulling out my 2025 bingo card because I don't want to share all my goals, but I'm going to share some. One goal I have is to practice my Chinese more. And I really, really want to do it. My sister is really good at keeping up with her Chinese, and every time I go home, I am reminded that mine is getting worse. So,
what are your plans to practice Chinese?
I really watch more Chinese TV.
How much more?
Okay, not more Chinese TV. I have some shows that I wrote down, but actually there's this podcast that I was going to share on Instagram. And
The Real Fake Podcast.
I listened to an episode today, and it was really good. It's just like conversational. It's not like trying to teach you Chinese. They're just 3 Taiwanese dudes, I'm pretty sure, that just sit and talk. So I've been listening to that. I'm mostly practicing speaking and listening, not reading and writing, because that's my goal. Another goal I have is to go to 20 Pilates classes, but I feel like I should raise that number now that I'm saying it out loud.
That's only one every 2 weeks.
Yeah. So I feel
Should
like
50.
Maybe I'll say 35 Pilates classes. I think I'm going to raise that. And then my last one that I'm going to say is... Okay, I have 2 more. Sorry. One is to find my signature scent. That's not really a goal. That's more of like a fun little, like, fun thing to do. But I really want to find that. I feel like Andy has a great cologne collection, and I don't spend enough time trying to find.
I have many signature scents.
Yes. And I want to find mine. Okay, and then my last one is to work with 2 dream brands. I have a list of brands. I'm not going to say them. But...
What are some of your dream brands? You can say them. What's like 1 or 2 of the dream brands?
Okay, well, one of them is Bays.
Ooh, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah, and I don't like that I said it out loud because I feel like I want to keep all my...
Why? That's...
Okay, Bays is one of them. Bays is honestly like probably the number 1 for some reason. I just love Shay Mitchell and I love Bays and I have a lot of Bays things.
She does love Shay Mitchell.
So that is like...
Shout out Pretty Little Liars.
That's like a big one. Also aloe. I'm not even saying that just because I'm wearing it. I just like think aloe is so like.
Yeah, that was very cool. We want memberships to the freaking aloe yoga thing.
You have to be an influencer.
Yeah, I want it so bad. I want to go to that. I want to go to the aloe gym. That sounds sick. Okay.
So yeah, but those aren't the two that I want. I just want.
They are two of many.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, your turn.
I only have one goal for this year, and that is to finish my 12 projects. If you are on Instagram, go look at my Instagram or go to Michelle's Instagram, and then just like it'll guide you to my Instagram. But I wanted to work more in creating like physical products this year. And so one of my goals was to basically every month find one thing that I could like build, and make that. So this month, I'm redoing the doors in my office. And that will all be posted on Instagram. I don't think it will make it to YouTube just because there's too much that has to happen in terms of like filming, and I've got one camera. I'm not going to set up like my phone and also do like short form and long form content. It just seems like kind of a lot. So I'm only doing it short form, but it'll be on Instagram. So that's my goal. Hit that every 12 months. Got some really cool stuff. So we'll do the closet doors. I have a couple like USM hauler style builds that I want to do. I think those will be cool. Some 3D print stuff that I'm planning to do. So I haven't planned out every month, but that is what I'll be doing this year. So 12 months, 12 projects.
Yes. How can I get over the cringe hump of starting to post content?
The cringe hump of starting to post content. We should break down this issue. So one is like, why do people feel like it's cringe to post content? Especially content with your face in it, right? Like what we're doing right now, or like what Michelle and I post on Instagram, where like our face is usually semi-present in the video. People are very shy about that. And I would say that probably the biggest reason for that, if not the only reason for that, and I might be generalizing, but is because like people worry like, oh, if someone else sees this, like what will they think of me? And I would say that is stepping towards like too much main character syndrome, where you're thinking like, oh, everyone's looking at me and they're thinking about like what I do. But like really in real life in the world, not that many people actually like care or pay attention to like what you're doing, or even like think twice about it. So I would say that's like the first kind of like trap you need to escape, is like not everyone is going to be looking at your stuff and being like, oh my gosh, can you believe she's doing this? Like think about how you behave when you see other people's stuff on social media. You're not even thinking about it. You just like kind of consume, and then you scroll, and you like watch, and then you scroll, and you watch, and you scroll. So it doesn't really matter. And in addition to that, or I guess like as like a secondary step to that, like the first time or after you post like your first 2 or 3, then all of a sudden it just feels fine. Like I think the first couple, you're like, oh, I'm so nervous. Like what if people see this? What will they think? And all that stuff. You're kind of putting yourself out there, but do it a couple times and then it's like fine. So just like close your eyes, just press the button and post it.
Andy is very wise when it comes to things like that. I am going to add on some small things. So that's like the main thing. I feel like that's the main thing. And then getting to the part where you're filming yourself, something that helps me, I think Andy is really good at like public speaking and talking to people that he doesn't know. So I feel like a lot of this comes naturally to him. If it doesn't come naturally to you, aka you're like me, something I like doing, and it's also just like a good visual thing, is to be doing something with your hands or holding a mic. I've noticed when I hold the mic, I actually feel more comfortable talking because I'm holding something instead of feeling like I'm just sitting there with my hands down. So holding something, even if the mic isn't on, I've heard someone say like you can get a fake mic and just hold it. It makes you feel better. Or if you're doing something with your hands, like cleaning something and talking at the same time, or moving something and talking at the same time. And then the other thing that really helps me is, I guess this isn't a very good example, but when the camera is closer to me, I feel more comfortable, and I feel more comfortable talking to the camera if I'm sitting down in a comfortable position. I feel really awkward when I'm standing. So if you have a hard time talking to the camera, I would say sit, or like do something comfortable, be in a comfortable position. I always have my leg up, and then if you bring the camera closer to you, you just feel comfier, because the camera really far away makes it feel very like staged, don't you think?
I don't know that that's a feeling I relate to, but
at least for me,
that's what works, and that's what works.
At least for me, and I've heard other people say the same thing. like when the camera is closer, sometimes you feel a little more comfortable because it's like you're talking to a friend. So those are like small tips. Those are just like if you're already filming and you just want to feel more comfy doing it.
Yeah.
I sit a lot. You stand a lot.
I like multiple positions.
That's true. Yeah. Well, if you're not blessed like Andy, you can try that.
Ins and outs for the new year.
One in is making new friends. And not new, like get rid of all your friends. I just mean like making more friends. Like as an adult, putting yourself more out there and going to more things to meet more people. Because I think a lot of the times we don't do that enough. And I think we live in a place where we're really lucky because there are so many events and things to go to. So I want to go to more things. Another one is to wake up early. That's my in.
Oh, waking up early is in.
I really want to wake up like earlier than I do now, but I need to be better at going to sleep early. But I really, really enjoy when I have a large chunk of time before I have to start working in the morning. And people can fit in like exercising. Okay, my dream is to one day be able to be a morning Pilates person instead of an evening exercise person. So I want to wake up early. I want to wake up early and go to sleep early because I always feel better doing that. So those are my ins. My outs are one, caring what other people think. And in the sense, okay, sorry, you need to care you should care what other people think in the sense, like, if you hurt their feelings, like, be nice to people and don't be, like, rude to people, but don't care what people think if, like, the people are, like, rude or annoying or not nice or whatever. Like, getting hate comments on social media, not caring what those people think, or, like, people who aren't very kind to you, not caring what those people think, or being scared to post things because you care what people think, that kind of care. That's my one big out. And then another out is come back to me.
Okay, I will do two.
Because you had time to think.
Come
back to me on my last
I have two ins. I have two ins that are, like, pretty lighthearted. One is fragrances. And not just like colognes, like fragrances everywhere. Like I think everything should smell good all the time. And it's just fun. It's just like dopamine all day long. Like get a nice air freshener in your car, get like reed diffusers and candles and stuff in your house. We use incense on like the main floor of our house. Like I have a bunch of different colognes that I love wearing. Like I love like experimenting new ones and finding like new scents. My like shampoo is super scented. My body wash is super scented. My soaps are super scented. My lotions are super scented. We've even talked about taking car air fresheners and putting them in our closet. And I just think it's like, it sounds like super like high overconsumption and like kind of is, but I just think it's really fun. Like to have things that like smell good. Like everywhere you go, obviously like don't overdo it because you'll go nose blind and then you won't be able to enjoy it as much, but I think that's an in. It's just like smell good, everything should smell good, it's fun. Second one is socks. Like a good pair of socks. I've been really into socks the last 3 weeks. Most guys my age or younger, probably most guys graduated from like high school, I guarantee you have just nasty, gross socks that are like the same socks that they like did sports in high school, and then they graduated and they brought the socks with them, and it's like there's gonna be holes in them, or they're gross, or they're like weird ankle cut socks. Ankle cut is so out, like throw those out. Like find yourself some fun, some like good socks. Like I'm not saying like patterns or anything like that, just like some good quality socks. For no-show socks, which I wear a ton of, Bombas makes great no-show socks. Those are awesome. I've also been getting into like longer cotton socks, which have been awesome. Wearing a pair right now. We both are. Yeah, we're both wearing like nice cotton socks, and it's just fun. It's just like luxury. It's lavish. It's fun. So definitely like socks. Also, socks are like a great addition to like an outfit. Like a great way to complete an outfit is having like a sock that kind of like complements what's going on. Okay, two outs. I don't even have one out.
My out is having too much stuff. So I'm really trying to get rid of things. I have a large growing pile of clothes that I'm going to sell. I would like the closet to be downsized in half.
Ooh,
and
it's ambitious.
But I think it's totally possible because I don't wear half those things.
Yep.
So I already downsized my makeup collection. I've like gotten that down to literally one bag, which I'm very proud of. But I want to do that with like hair products. I've done it with shower products so that there's nothing in there that I don't use. But I want to go through like hair products, clothes, stationery. I go through like once a quarter and I get rid of a little bit. I probably could do it more. So we shall see.
Mm-hmm.
I want to get rid of the things that I don't use yearly. If it's a once a year thing, I'm keeping it though. Because some people are like, if it's once a year, you don't actually need it, but there's like Christmas stuff. Yeah.
I don't know. I still don't know what my 2 outs are.
Andy's a very positive human, so he doesn't really have very many outs. I'm getting a puppy this year. Any advice? I'm so excited for you. It's really exciting. At least I was really excited when I got Bear and when we got Winston. Do you want to say your number one point?
Yeah, I would just it's a puppy, so be patient. When we got Winston, he would like cry in his kennel every night, and I would, instead of like getting angry or like moving the kennel to somewhere else, I would just lay next to the kennel and I would put my hand, like my fingers through it, so he could like smell me and like lick my fingers basically during the night. And we did that for like the first 4 or 5 nights, and then after that he stopped crying in the kennel, and now he loves the kennel and he only sleeps in the kennel. He does not like sleeping outside the kennel. But you had to like suck it up for the first couple nights.
Andy is very, very patient. I don't know what happened. I lost my patience with Winston this time around. So don't be like me. I was very patient with Bear at the beginning. So just know a puppy takes a lot of time. You could be really lucky and get a puppy that doesn't take any time at all to train, and it's like really quick and really fast. But sometimes, like with Bear took a really, really long time to train to sleep and to be potty trained, and it was just like who he was. And I knew that was like a possibility, so I was like prepped for it. So just be prepped for it. I feel like we see a lot of people who like get dogs, but they just like don't realize how much work a dog actually is, because you're like, oh, a puppy's so cute and it's so fun.
Don't get a dog if you're not gonna keep it.
Yeah. Yes, I could talk about that forever, but yeah, and take your dog out and be home enough to take your dog out and things like that. And also, my last thing, this is more of like a floofy thing, but you actually don't need to buy all the things. Don't feel like you need to buy everything to be prepped for your puppy, because most of the time you end up either not using it, or it's like not useful, or the dog will break it. So just like buy things as you're like raising your dog, you know, and figure out what your dog likes. But I'm so excited for you and I cannot wait. It's the best. And getting a second dog was like the best decision for us. So yeah. Second to last question. Tips on dating / finding a partner. You two seem so comfortable. Heart hands.
Yes.
Thank you, first of all.
Thank you. It's very nice. It's very flattering.
That is very nice.
We're very comfortable.
Sitting on this floor chair,
Yes.
sharing one singular chair.
Sharing one chair. Yeah, I think the thing I harp on all the time is don't get in relationships looking for your other half. I think I hate that phrase exists. I think it's silly. I don't like it at all. Because it makes you sound like dependent, and it puts off this vibe that like, oh, like all my shortcomings and, you know, the things that are like not right with me, it's fine. I'll just find someone who can like handle those. And I just don't think that's like a wise decision to be like, oh, I'll just not, you know, try and like fix those things in hopes that I'll find someone who like is okay with it. I think that just seems kind of silly to me.
Yeah.
So I would say a better attitude is like, get as good as you can yourself.
Yes.
And I think that will help you find someone. Like when you feel like you're pretty satisfied and like emotionally mature yourself, and have done like really deep introspection there, then it helps you like find someone who, it like helps you realize who is not quite there yet, and then you like eliminate those people from your list. And it's not like Like no one's going to be like perfect, but I think your standards go up the more like you are comfortable with yourself.
I guess I'm not really adding to this because I'm just saying something like Andy has said before, but I really liked it. And you didn't just say it. But Andy once, I can't even remember when, you used to say that people's like baseline, you should have a baseline of happiness. And like, and when you're dating the person or like in a relationship with someone, they can like add to that and make life really fun, and you're best friends and life is really fun. But there should be like a baseline. It's not like when you're not with them,
I'm worse.
You're worse.
Yeah.
And then they like literally fix you and make you happy. Like you should have like a baseline of where you're at, and they like just add to it. That makes
like by myself, I am happy just as much as I am. Like if you're like in my life, then I'm like certainly happier.
Yeah.
But if someone like leaves or like whatever, then it's like I'm not
happy.
Yeah, I'm like I'm fine. I'm still fine.
Which I really liked. I think that's something. I don't want to generalize girls, but that's something I personally, I think I struggled with before. But by the time I met Andy, I was like obviously much better at that. So I do think that's really important. We see it in a lot of people. Yeah. Anyways, I really like the baseline thing. I also agree with Andy. I don't believe in soulmates. I don't believe in other halves, really. I think two people who are kind and love each other and can like solve problems together will work. Any two people, obviously like more people are compatible than others, but what I mean is I don't think you're like searching for one soul, that you don't only have one soulmate. I don't believe in that. Yeah. And I feel like if you're dating with that mindset, dating would be really hard and really frustrating.
Yeah. I think there's a funny like speech that's like if you did like imagine you did meet the perfect girl. It was a guy talking to other guys, like, imagine you did meet the perfect girl. Do you really think she would like you?
Want to date you.
Yeah, it's like, if you did meet the perfect girl, you think she would want to date you? And it's like, oh, no.
I did that a lot when I was dating. I would because I remember that being said. Like, the perfect man out there, I was like, would not want me. Like,
If you did meet, your 6'4" rich guy who's like
why
perfectly patient, whatever, it's like, would he really want to date you? Probably not.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one. Oh wait, that was okay. Cool. So we just have the last one, which is the biggest one. Tips for discovering your ikigai, which we are going to define that as like purpose. If you have another definition of it, that's fine. We're just going to simplify it down and just like how tips for finding your purpose. And I think using purpose as like I have to find my purpose. When you say that sentence, it sounds like you only have one, which I think is silly, and it like evolves throughout the course of your life. You may have several. So you're really talking about like, what's my purpose like right now? And I'm big on like you should always like, don't define yourself by like what you do, but why you do things. So one of the things that Michelle and I have talked about recently with Sabrina Carpenter's like fame is like, you see a lot of Disney kids struggle once they're no longer like a Disney kid. So we see that with like Miley Cyrus went through that phase, Demi Lovato went through that phase where like you graduate out of like Disney kid, you're no longer on like Disney TV or whatever, and you're like, what am I now? And I think if you look at those, like some of those case studies of like Miley's, like what's the Wrecking Ball era? What was that album called? I can't remember.
Oh my gosh.
But like everyone, the time when it was like, holy cow, like what's going on with Miley Cyrus? Like a lot of those times, I feel like, in my opinion, and I might be projecting, but it's because like they lost that sense of identity, that sense of purpose, because it was so tightly coupled with like, what do I do? So like the Disney kids were like, oh, I'm a Disney star, like I'm a kid actor, and then all of a sudden they're not that anymore, and they're like, oh shoot, what am I? This happens to like everyone who graduates high school, especially guys, because you're like, oh, I'm like the stud on the football team, and then you graduate, you're just like a nobody at some college, and you're like, wait, what am I? Right? And so like you're finding like a new purpose. So that's why I think it's important to define yourself more by like why you do things than like what you do. So because that the why becomes like applicable in like all sorts of situations, versus like what you're doing is only applicable for like that time specifically. So the more you can kind of like broaden how you think about that, and think about it as not like this is a continuum, and I might have many different purposes in my life all the time. I would frame it more that way than I would just like what's my purpose, because I feel like it is pretty unlikely, unless you're coming at this from like a religious perspective. It's pretty unlikely that you're going to have like one purpose. Like, this is my purpose. Even things like I don't know. I'm thinking about like other content creators. A lot of people would probably say like the big content creators would be like, oh, my life's purpose is to create content. But I'm like, what about when you're 60 and you're not creating content anymore?
Yeah.
Like, will you still say that? So I just think it's like, don't be so limited to like, I will have one purpose my whole life.
Yeah. I think, I can't even remember. This was probably like a couple years ago. I think it was actually before. No, we were married, I think. But I can't even remember what led to it, but I think I was having a crisis one night, and I was saying, do you remember this? And I was like talking about dance, and because I stopped and I didn't do it anymore, and then you talked about like basketball and how like, or track, maybe we were talking about track. I can't even remember.
I don't remember this.
Oh, anyways. You said something really similar, and then I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. Because for a long time, I did think that dance was my sole purpose. For some reason, I thought, like, that's what I was going to do for the rest of my life, and that was all I was sent here on this earth to do. But it's not the... So I liked... You told me you were saying that there are multiple purposes, which is very true, because now if I really think about it and I were to write down what I think some of my purposes are, there's multiple, and I think they will always change, and I think next year there's going to be more, and I think the year after that there's going to be more, and yeah. I
do think like usually the purpose question is like it's a abstraction on top of like this other feeling. Like, I feel something, and that's generally like what I think makes people ask, like, what's my purpose? And it's like when you're really dissatisfied with the current state of your life, that's when you're like, what am I supposed to do? Right. Like, I don't know what I'm doing right now. Like, I don't have any goals. Like, I don't know what I'm doing. Yeah. I think one thing that really helps is in that scenario with like feeling satisfied with your life is going out and like helping other people. I think that is a really good way. Say that a lot. To like get out of like the me mode of like, oh my gosh, my life is bad, what am I doing, it's all about me, that kind of thing, and like just putting positive energy like out into the world. My parents were super good about this. When I was in high school, we would like make dinner and go serve dinner at the homeless shelter every Sunday, or like every other Sunday, and we did that for like, I don't know, it was like at least a couple years, I thought. Feels like a couple years. I don't know how long it actually was, but we did that, and it was awesome because like it was a chance to like go out and like just serve other people and just like make sure that they were getting their needs fulfilled. And it's a good way to like get you to not think about yourself. So
yes, Andy is very good at that. You've always said like service is like your like
service is king.
Yeah.
If you help other people, it feels good.
Yeah. And it does really help you stop thinking about yourself. Not that, like, we all will think about ourselves, and it's not bad to think about yourself, obviously, but, like, I think when you're in that mindset, it doesn't actually even help you, because you're just like, what's wrong with me? Why am I here? Blah, blah, blah. Where, like, if you're doing something for someone else or something else, like, your brain is just thinking about others, and honestly, you'd be able to find your purpose a lot faster that way, I think, instead of focusing on yourself.
Okay. That's all of our questions.
Anyways, that is our New Year's Q&A. Thank you for submitting them. Sorry it was a little last minute. Next time we do another Q&A, I'll post a question box on Instagram, and you can ask more.
Ask more questions.
The questions can literally be about anything, as you can see today. And now Andy's going to edit this video, and we're going to sleep so that I can wake up early.
We'll see you next time.
Bye. Bye-bye.